Now if you've got questions in life, what do you do? Ask Keith.
And the rest of the team. Detached Work. Season 6. We're on Season 6 already. Can't believe it. Well, we're with GPS, guiding you into a knowledge of God. Yo, my people, it's your boy Keith here. Welcome to another Friday night, and we're out and about sharing the good news of Jesus. Tonight is going to be a little different because, as I said, we're in Season 6, and tonight we're going to be talking about what about hypocrites within the Christian faith? Does that make a difference? Should it make a difference? Now, I know I got it wrong last week and I started talking about that. Instead of talking about what the Christian faith was really about, it's about Jesus and his claims. And then the claim that he is the only way to the Father and a relationship with God and spending eternity in heaven. That's the essence of Christianity. So we want you to know that right from the bat, right from the get-go. It's all about Jesus and a relationship. So we looked at that last week, and if you watched the video, thanks for watching. But this week, Beyond the Search is about what about all the hypocrisy?
Welcome back to Beyond the Search, your journey into the biggest questions about God and faith. Last week, we explored if Christianity is just a set of rules or a path to a truly meaningful life, discovering it's fundamentally about a relationship with Jesus. This week, we're diving deeper into this section on authenticity, relevance, and social impact. To tackle a question many of you are asking, why are so many Christians judgmental or hypocritical? It's a powerful and painful question. You've seen the inconsistencies, the do as I say, not as I do mentality, often amplified by social media. For those of you deconstructing faith, these observations can be a major roadblock, making you question the whole thing. If the message is so good, why do some of its followers seem so off? You could be saying, why become a Christian when they are no different than me? It's a huge point of friction, and rightfully so. You value authenticity, and hypocrisy feels like its opposite. Research into young people's views on faith, including studies on UK demographics, consistently shows that perceived hypocrisy within religious institutions is a massive barrier. Many young people are seeking genuine connection and truth, and when they see a disconnect, it pushes them away. They're looking for real disciples, not just religious performers. So why the gap? Here's the core biblical truth. Christians are not perfect. Christianity, or rather its founder Jesus, is. What do I mean? The Bible clearly states in Romans 3:23, "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God." This isn't just a casual statement. It's the fundamental starting point of Christianity. It means every single person, myself, your neighbor, even someone who claims to follow Jesus, is flawed. We all make mistakes. We all fall short of God's perfect standard. Jesus himself directly confronted judgmental attitudes. In Matthew 7 verses 3-5, he says, "Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? First, take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye." This teaching is a direct warning against hypocrisy. Jesus condemned it in the religious leaders of his day. A true Christian recognizes their own brokenness first and comes to God for grace. What's grace, you say? Well, that is God's acceptance of us. And it hasn't been earned from a place of moral superiority and relying on what we have done well, but recognizing that it took the innocent death of Christ to bring this about. Forgiveness and favor towards God. In other words, we do not rely on our efforts, but on the work of Christ, which he did on the cross. Yet we should not go on living however we want. We have been called to change our mind and direction in life by living God's way. This distinction is crucial for your personal understanding. When you see a Christian acting hypocritically, you're not seeing a failure of Christianity itself, but a failure of a person to live up to its ideals. Christianity offers radical transformation from within. That can be a process. It is not instant perfection. It's about striving to become more like Jesus, who is the epitome of grace and truth. We are called to be honest with Jesus in the kind of relationship where we don't hide or justify our failures, but genuinely ask for his help to become just like him. So how can you navigate this? Look to Jesus, not just his followers. His life and teachings are the true standard. Study his character directly. Recognize shared humanity. Understand that Christians are simply people on a journey, flawed like everyone else, but striving. Seek authentic community. Find Christian communities that acknowledge their imperfections and focus on grace, not judgment. You'll know them by their love and humility. Hypocrisy hurts, but it doesn't define the powerful truth of Christianity. Join us next week as we continue to answer your big questions. Looking for more information? Connect with us at gpsuk.org. Alternatively, you can email us at info@gpsuk.org. See you next time.
So, I hope you've enjoyed the episodes that we've been creating for you. Like I said, over the next few weeks, we're talking about the 20 questions, the top questions that people are asking when it comes to faith, when it comes to God, and whether people have faith or not. I don't recall myself having many questions before I came to know Christ. But one of the things is, we're trying to encourage you to think about God. And so the reason why we're doing this is we're finding out what the top questions are that people like yourself might well have, and we're trying to answer them for you. So here we are. Been speaking to a few young people today, and it's been really great. But now we're actually looking at, well, what about all this hypocrisy? How should we take it? Let me tell you something, nobody is perfect. And the beautiful thing about the Christian faith is nobody gets to God based upon their own individual efforts. They get to God based upon the work of Jesus. That's what this week's message is all about. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Nobody gets to God based upon their own individual method, own individual efforts. Nobody gets to God based upon their own individual efforts. They get to God based upon the work of Jesus.